Good evening, everyone. I am, well, it figures, 5 or 6 minutes late again. I got to get better at that. I tell you though, I just came from a meeting. I met with about nine or 10 high school students, young adult police commissioners, and we talked a little bit about issues, how they saw their community, how they saw their police department. We had some hard questions. We talked about defunding the police and the national conversation around police, and we talked about Minneapolis and Atlanta, different protests, and I had precinct captains in there as well. And I'll tell you, it was just a really good discussion. You know, we work with those young people a lot, and to have those discussions it just made an impact on me and hopefully the youth, and as well as the officers in the department. So I want to thank if any of the young adult police commissioners are watching. I really want to tell them thank you. So we had a session earlier today at 12. We finished up. I got the grant that we were working on completed. So it's been a long day, but we got things rolling. So a couple of things I want to touch base on, and then we're going to get right into the questions. And I'll try not to hold up so long, but there are some things that I think we should know about. I will try to hit them fairly quickly because I really want to get to your questions. Jamie, I think we did really good the last session. I think we got just about every response, just about to everybody that hit in. I think we hit all the responses. It's important to me to try to hit those. So let me start out by saying just a little bit of background on the department. The police department currently sits crime-wise. The police department sits at a 12.5% reduction. We're down 12% in overall crime. So if we report it out to the FBI today, crime is down 12% in our city. Now, the summer is where we took a hit last year in July and August. We had things in place for June, but we weren't able to sustain them in July and August, and we did see a spike last year. So when I looked at just the first 2 months of the year, the first 2 months of the summer, June and July, we have already had a 22% reduction in June and July. I hope that continues, that we'll have a good solid reduction in August, because I hope our reduction in the summer months this year attributes to that, is leading in the attributing to that 12% reduction we have overall. So right now the strategies we have in place are showing good results. The two issues that I have an increase, I'm up about 8 shootings from where I was last year. That's shooting in the arm, leg, non-life-threatening shootings. Our homicides are down. Currently we are down. This time last year we had 14 homicides in our city. Today we currently have 9, and there's one under review. We're down in burglaries. We're down in robberies. We're down in our rapes. We're down in our larcenies and auto thefts. So overall crime is down in the city by 12%. And we'll keep those strategies. We're focusing on 3 neighborhoods in our city. We're focusing on South Morrison, the central part of the city, which is Tricia and Dresda Lane. In the north, we're focusing on Lucas Creek, the Beachmont neighborhood, and then again Marshall Courts in the south. Let me hit a couple of these. Miss Williams. Miss Williams, I believe that somebody has a birthday today. I didn't get to see you earlier today, but I appreciate all the work that you do for this department. I see you're logged on here. I appreciate the work that you do, and I wanted to tell you happy birthday. And I appreciate the prayers and the advice that you give me. I enjoy our conversations, and you mean a lot to me, and I appreciate, again, all that you do, not only in the division that you're at, but also the stuff that you do for me. Samantha, it's good to have you on board. Thank you. Annie, it's good to see you back. And Jamie, there you go. Had to throw you out. Jamie, my trusted partner that keeps me on the right track. Rebecca, it's good to have you here. You and the team handled the demonstration alongside the peaceful protest. Wow, Samantha, that means a lot. Thank you. We want to talk a little bit about the demonstrations and the protests that we have, but thank you very much. I think how we handle that and interact goes a long way. Defunding the police, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I tell you, I had a really good conversation with the youth, and they asked some good questions, and I thought, wow, young people to put that much thought into it, I shouldn't be surprised. They're very, very special people, and I really enjoyed talking to them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I appreciate your support. Thanks for being here, LaToya. Thank you so much. A couple of things I want to touch base on. Every Friday for the last 4 weeks, I have gone out and walked the neighborhood. That's something that I wanted to start doing. It gives the chief, me, a chance to get out and see our communities and walk in our neighborhoods. I'm not going up and knocking on doors and interrupting anyone. I'm just walking in a neighborhood for about an hour, 3:30 to 4:30. I say that, but I've been well past 5 the last couple that I've done. It's kind of interesting. Citizens come out and talk to you, and it allows me to interact with our communities and our neighborhoods. I have walked Marshall Courts, Tricia and Dresden Lane, Beachmont. I walked Hilton on Friday, and I am going to be in Huntington neighborhood, right, on Huntington Heights on Friday of this week. I was supposed to go there Saturday, but it was downpour. There was a lot of flooding. I understand there was a group waiting to meet me, and I feel bad. But I will be there on Friday and make up for it, I promise. I look forward to seeing you guys there and spending some time with you. Other thing, we have our award ceremony coming up on August the 28th. We have officers. We do an award ceremony yearly. We have officers who've just done really, really amazing work, well above and beyond, and I want to make sure that I recognize them. We'll space ourselves out, social distancing. We'll all be in masks, but I think it's important that you recognize people for the achievements they do. They deserve it, and I just want to spend a little bit of time. So on August the 28th, we'll give out some special awards to some officers. We talked about where our crime is. I have 16 recruits in the academy that started a few months ago. They're coming up on the halfway mark. I have 23 recruits that are in the field and field training now that graduated a couple months ago. All 23 are doing well. I got a report out on those 23 on Monday. And I have another 20 that will start the class in September. That class will go for about 7 months. We're going to add a couple weeks onto that class. We're going to talk a little bit about that, of things we're going to do different or add on to our training division. And then we'll have a class in September and another class in January. So the department continues. We continuously hire. We run 3 academies a year. We space them out about 4 months apiece. And that's been very effective for us. It allows us to have a little bit smaller classes, but it also allows me to have officers on the street every 4 months instead of every 6 or 7. And training is important. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we talk about reform and things going on in policing. I want to share with you the department was selected by the governor's office with 4 others to have a statewide 2.5 hour session on best practices or things that are working in our departments. It was Harrisonburg, Norfolk, Sheriff's Department, the Chief Virginia Association of Chiefs of Police and the Chief of I'm going to say it wrong, Herndon, and then Newport News. So we're very honored, and we were able to highlight some of the things that we do in our community, our walks in the community, our citizens on our selection boards, promotional panels, our citizens on our use of force review boards, working together with police officers, determining outcomes about our use of force. We were able to talk about our young adult police commissioners, our coaching basketball leagues in the Boys and Girls Club, all those things being important, our citizen input, our citizen advisory board that we have, Donna Grubb and her group, Citizens United for Action. So we just talked about a lot of positive things, and I thought it went really a long way, and it was good if that would be recognized by other entities and share some things. And I learned some things too from other departments. I think it's important we try to look at best practices, what's working in other areas that we can mold and either implement here in Newport News or make force to fit in our community, in our neighborhood. We've also been selected by 6 cities here in the Commonwealth to have community conversations or courageous conversations with a very, very diverse panel of about 25 individuals, led by the Department of Criminal Justice. And we talk about some of the hot topics in policing today. A lot like under President Obama's administration, the 21st century policing, talk about a lot of the same topics and the pillars that were laid out there. Chief Ramsey was the chief of Philadelphia at the time that oversaw that commission. And out of the 6 pillars he laid out, really the one that stands out the most to me in everything that we do is trust and transparency, being open. And these Facebook chats, I believe, are a way to do that. You know, it's a little non-traditional. Usually it's a community meeting where we're in a group of 20 or 30 people. So I learned to talk into this box and this blue light and interact with you all. But I do think it helps. You can watch these at your leisure. You know, hustle and bustle, things are very, very active, and family life and kids and all the things going on. But I appreciate those that log in and just spend some time with me. Talked about our training academy. Before I get to some of the responses and questions, training is very, very important, not only today, but even as we move forward and trying to continue to improve policing. Things that I want to focus on, I want to increase our training on de-escalation, implicit bias, bias-based policing, issues with autism, mental health, drug addiction, homelessness, some of the social issues. I want to bring in experts to continue to teach instead of officers reading from a PowerPoint. I think it's important to bring in those professionals. I went up and saw the Milo system at ECPI. My goal and wish is to have our own, but ECPI is a great partner with the police department and have offered us time and space, and we're going to take advantage of that. So I plan to add 2 weeks onto this academy, one working in the Milo system, and what that is, it's almost like a virtual game. It's a large screen that has it interacts with different scenarios. They can all be changed up and tweaked. Individual running around a corner and produces a cell phone or produces a purse or a firearm, and making decisions and how you maneuver and tactically de-escalate, verbally talk the situation down. The other is I want to spend more time on cultural diversity and de-escalation training. I think that's important. And I'm going to have officers, I'm going to send some officers away to get trained so they can come back and be trainers, meaning train the department. So I don't want to be strapped to waiting when I have openings and I can send 5 or 6 to a class. I want to bring that class here, and I want our own department to be certified instructors so I can teach this department day, evening, midnight, and all year round. So those are just a couple of things that I wanted to touch base on. Chief Charlie's dad is here. He's with me?
Yeah.
Do we got to scroll down? So where is he at?
No, he's the second one.
So, my friend, Mr. Foley, how is Charlie doing? I've heard some good things. I heard he had some pretty cool visitors. I have not forgotten our soccer game one-on-one here in the front lawn of police headquarters. We're going to get some goals set up, and me and Charlie will go at it. Now, Charlie might have a little bit of speed on me, but we may have to do a little face-off action. But I'm looking forward to that. So, Charlie, my friend, I want you to heal up. I want you to get better. I miss you, buddy. I'm proud of you. You're very inspirational to a lot of people, including myself. But I do look forward to our one-on-one soccer match. Mr. Foley, please tell my friend I said hello, and he is in my thoughts and prayers, as you all are. Samantha, possibly do the part of the quarantine. Great job. Possibly do the part. Maybe. I don't know. You know, when you talk about the quarantine, one of the things that is spiked for us, our number one call for service over the last 3 months has been domestic violence. We average about 615, 620 calls a month for domestic violence, almost 21 to 23 a day. You know, and people unsure about jobs and finances, cooped up. You know, I can understand that tension and frustration and uncertainty. But domestic violence is our number one call for service the last 3 months, and I think that has a big part to do with the pandemic. I've talked to other chiefs and other jurisdictions, and they see the same issue. So it could be that could be certainly be a driving force. LaToya, it's good to see you again. Thank you. Annie, defunding the police. Yeah, we talked a little bit about defunding the police and what that means. I will tell you, taking resources and the police department partners with a lot of different entities. And I train officers 30, 40 hours on how to respond to issues with mental health. What's the policy and procedure? But there are people that go to school for 4, 5, 6 years to get degrees in issues with mental health and depression and the psychology side of things. And I think it's important that we work closer with those entities. So we do have I have to give all the credit to Chief Hudgens. In Seattle, there's a program called Cahoots, and it deals with individuals who struggle with mental illness. We took a version of that. We should have it up and running by mid-September. We're going to call it CARE here, and it will be a clinical health individual along with a paramedic that will ride in a van. We will use it Monday through Friday, and Newport News officers will be like the backup. So they'll be the first responders to calls like homelessness and drug addiction, mental illness, someone suffering from depression or suicidal. and they'll use their talent and their experience to try to address the situation on the front end. And we'll be there to support just to make sure that everyone is safe. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a little bit of a game changer. The same thing as we brought domestic violence workers on the police department. We hired them to help us address domestic violence. We have still continued to see an increase in domestic calls. However, our service that we provide for victims, male or female, Cheryl and Nisha have just done a phenomenal job in reaching out and talking to people and following up and trying to add some services that way. And it has just exploded. Several departments in the state and outside the state have called and asked us what we're doing and how we're doing it. And that's just, I think it's something that's very needed. Once this pandemic is over, I really want to see us be proactive in our middle schools and high schools, our colleges and churches, and take our show into the community. I just think there's people that, as I see, like I said, imagine 600 calls a month for domestic violence times 12. That's what we're responding to. That is a top priority, and I want to try to get better service for the victims, quicker responses, and stronger follow-ups. Rebecca, keep up the great work. Rebecca, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Randy, good to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for being here. Jennifer, it's good to have you on board. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I wish I could do the walk, but my knee won't. Rebecca, don't worry about the walk. It's all right. As long as you're there in heart and spirit, it'll be good. I will. I look forward to it. And then, like I said, if anybody chiming in, if there's a neighborhood you'd like me to come and walk, just please let me know. Jamie keeps track of that, and like I said, this will be the 5th week in a row we've done it. So I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to it. Gets me out of the office and the community and kind of let some of the paperwork stuff behind and interact a little bit. Shelley, the TikTok. Is that the TikTok video with Officer Wright and Brittany and Fenway? Yeah, from what I understand, they were instant stars on the TikTok challenge. I'm not sure I understand it, but people seem to like it, so that's great. March to it. See, yep, absolutely. I will be there on the 28th. Thank you, my friend. Look forward to it. Crumpet, thank you very much. Are the recruits diverse, including females? So, Samantha, let me share this with you. Probably the biggest challenge I have right now is female leadership in the organization. Now, it's good and bad with that. The good thing is that most departments have about 12% female. Newport News Police Department is 18% female. That's well above the national average. 12%, we're at 18%. The problem is, though, I don't have enough female leadership up the ranks in this department. And it's not because we're not promoting. It's because I can't get females to apply. And I've talked to some other females in the department, some sergeants, Lieutenant Morgan. I spent some time with her just trying to understand why females may not be applying and some of the challenges that they may feel they don't have a chance or that it's a male-dominated. I don't want that to be at all. We're actually doing some recruitment videos to bring more females in, but that's one of the challenges I have. The second challenge I have is Hispanic speaking officers. The Hispanic population is one that's fastly growing in our community, and I want to make sure that I'm able to communicate with that nationality. We have a mandate right now that 10% of the recruits who enter the academy must speak Spanish. Nothing against Rosetta Stone, but I mean they got to walk in speaking, right? So if we have 30 recruits, 3 need to come in speaking Spanish. Right now, we've been able to meet that, and we look to have 20. I have to interview 6 or 7 more recruits this week. If they all pass through, and I think they will, the academy that starts in September, 10% will come in speaking Spanish, and that is a plus. That is a plus for us. So yes, the recruit class is very diverse. The class that is currently in now and the class that will start in September are very heavily populated with minorities and those that speak a foreign language. I'm excited. I think we have one of the best training departments on the East Coast. We put a lot of emphasis on training. I staff that academy staff well. I'm going to add one more individual to that academy staff because I really want to focus on that virtual Milo system and training simulator. I just think there's all kinds of benefits to that. So I'm feeling really, really good. Samantha, that's a great question. I appreciate that. Roderick, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, sir. Stephanie, hello. Good to see you. I hear nationally domestic violence and suicides are up during. Yes, Samantha, you're absolutely right. Wow, you're dead on. Suicides we're seeing an increase in, and it's very, very sad. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Kelly King. She is in our media relations department here in the police department, and she was talking about looking at putting a program together about suicide prevention and just putting some fillers out in the input. The reaction from the community in the department and outside has been overwhelming. I don't think we expected it to be that big. There's a lot of people want to chime in and help. And I think that, this pandemic and uncertainty and finances and worry and adds a lot of pressure, depression, and tension to life. And I certainly understand that. So Kelly and the media relations do a great job of marketing this department. And they had this idea, and I'm going to get behind it 100%. I think we have a lot of opportunity there. That's a great point. Randy, virtual training is a great tool, and I was asked to use some sort of virtual training and assist and show this on the Citizens Academy. Randy, you're absolutely correct. There are two things. I should have said it earlier, my friend. Thank you for reminding me. I apologize. I'm going to add a whole week on that those recruits get that time in that simulator. I think that's important. But I also want to bring our citizens back through that simulator from the Citizens Academy, just individuals in the community. I think for citizens to go through that, when you turn those lights down low and you've got to make a decision, right? I think it's important for citizens to see how quick officers have to react, how quick they have to respond, and how they're expected to get it right every single time. It's great training when some citizens ask questions, and there's nothing wrong with the questions, right? I think it's just not knowing. Like, why don't you shoot the gun out of someone's hand or shoot someone in the arm or the leg? When we have that go through the simulator and someone try it, that simulator will put a blue X on the screen where your rounds go. And as an officer, you're responsible for every round that leaves your firearm. That X will show it is almost impossible on targets that are moving, in stressful situations, your heart's beating, you're screaming, the radio in the background, to shoot the gun out of someone's hand or someone's leg. That's not how we train. Departments train to shoot to stop the threat. The largest part of that is from the waist up to the top of the shoulders. That's the area that we shoot for to protect ourselves and to protect citizens. And you are right, that is a great tool for our Citizens Academy. But I also want to use it for citizens who just like to see a little bit of what it's like the situations police officers deal with. And then police officers as well, not just recruits, but the chief and others in our in-service training, our 40 hours we go through every week. I want us to spend time about talking people down, on de-escalation, and using good tactics in the field. Christopher, it's good to have you aboard, my friend. Thank you. Roderick, we have to work on our family, strong neighborhoods, social. Absolutely. Roderick, I couldn't agree more. Those are all great points. I couldn't have said it better myself, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Keith, hey, hello from Ashland. Great. Sorry we had to, oh, no, I totally understand. Raising honor, we are scheduled for Saturday, May 16th, 2021. So you have certainly given me enough notice. I will be there, my friend. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you guys. It was very, very special for what you all did. It means a lot to me. Keith, I want you to know that we are going to have a police memorial service this year. I want to invite you, not only for Katie, but all the officers who lost their life in the line of duty. We didn't get to do that in Police Memorial Week because of the pandemic, but I think we've got a location now where we can certainly spread out and mask up. But I think it's important. Those that paid the ultimate sacrifice in service of this city, the citizens, and then losing Officer Thine this year, I think it's very, very important that we have that moment. They deserve it, and I want to do the best I can to deliver it to them. So you're certainly invited, and I'll send you the information, my friend. Denby area, Andy, just let me know. Denby, big area. I'd love to come out there and walk. If there's a good neighborhood, spend some time at, I would love to come out there and walk in Denby. That'd be great. I'm going to do Huntington this Friday, and then we could do something in Denby. I want to get back down and do some walking on Marshall and Madison, Oak Avenue, Roanoke, but I would love to be up in Denby as well. Jeff, right? I didn't understand it either. Yeah, I know, Jeff. You had to keep. You did very good in your role, though, my friend. I have to say. Tamika, thanks for keeping our community. Tamika, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. But really, the credit goes to the men and women of this organization. I give them all the credit when things are going great, and when we're struggling and off, then that's on me. I've got to find better strategies and solutions to address things. But the men and women of this organization, sworn and civilian, just do phenomenal work, and dispatchers, our forensic technicians, our detectives, midnight officers, they just do a phenomenal job. We had a tactical situation, a SWAT call out Saturday morning. That wasn't bad enough with flooding. We had to move a couple cars out of the way, but we had a sort of a domestic situation, and I'll tell you, the SWAT team and negotiators did a fantastic job, not only of getting neighborhoods that were next door to the location we were addressing out of the way into safety, but addressing the situation. I just could not be more impressed with the negotiators and the officers. South Patrol, SWAT team, and negotiators did a great job, and it ended peacefully and there was no injury. So it's a great effort. I want to tell them certainly thank you. Maybe more programs in the school to target females and Hispanics. Yeah, I think, Samantha, we're certainly looking at those things. Right now it's hard with schools being out. Lieutenant Morgan oversees our SROs in the school system and our programs that we try to do during the day and after. If you didn't know, we have a young adult police commissioner program that is a freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior from every high school. We meet with them every Thursday and spend about 3 hours with them and just talk about, we do driver's training, what to do on a traffic stop. We have debates. We talk about diversity. How do they see their department? A lot of volunteer work on the weekends, doing different things. As a matter of fact, I have one of those young adult police commissioners who graduated last year. He's going to help me pick the next lieutenant in this police department on a promotional panel. But those are great ideas. I really appreciate that. You're like in my head. Those are the exact things that we're talking about and looking at. Donna, CIT trainer, 30 plus years in mental health development, disability with a master's in criminology. If you need help with the Donna, that would be fantastic. We really need to talk. One of the issues we have is when we look at training in CIT, critical incident training, I have to wait till their seats open. And that's one of the frustrating parts for me is waiting to get officers into a program, and I can't afford that. I want this whole department trained in implicit bias and CIT by 2022. Now, my goal was to have it by the end of 2021, but the pandemic pushed us back in training, and I'm not trying to do it online. I want interaction with an instructor. But yeah, we certainly need to talk, but my mandate is to get the whole department, all 460 of us, including the chief of police. Now, a lot of the department is, so we do have it, but I want all of it, and I want to incorporate it in our academy class. So when recruits graduate, they've already had that training. Thank you very much. I look forward to talking to you. Fantastic plan. Yes, absolutely. Victoria, thank you. I appreciate that. Keith, yeah, if you can make it, man, I'd love to have you here. I'd love to highlight you and point you out. JT, good to have you on board. And I just can't even imagine how chaotic being in some of the situations that police are in, but I think most people can't understand that. Annie, it's a good statement. It's true. The ride-along program, when we get that back up and running, when the pandemic is over or decreases, I want to bring that back. I think that's important. The simulation is important. Conversations, the Citizens Academy, where if you haven't attended that, I think it's a fantastic. Monica White, she just does a great job. She's just a jack of all trades, man. If she's interacting with youth or young people, volunteers, she just does a great job. She just has a way of really taking some complex issues and simplifying it and getting the point across. She does great with scheduling. She just does a phenomenal job. I mean, she is worth her weight in gold and the stuff that she does for this organization. So if anyone who hasn't attended the Citizens Academy, meets a couple nights a week for a couple hours, and you just really get an insight of the police department. And those are the individuals that I asked to come back and help me on promotional panels, that asked to come back and help me on our use of force review board, where you make decisions, where you see that body-worn camera footage for what it is. It's unedited, and you make decisions before, during the process, not after. It's not a review. It's a part of the process. Keith, where in Huntington? I didn't hear from anyone. Oh, Keisha, I'm going to be at, was it 65th Street. I'm going to park right there on 65th Street and walk in that neighborhood, and I hope you're there. If you're free, please come by. Like I said, I don't want to knock on doors and interrupt anyone. I just want to walk the neighborhood, see it. And if people want to come out and talk to me, man, that's fantastic. I really enjoy it. The last 4 weeks have been great, and it's something I really enjoy doing. Good job. Keep it all out. Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that, my friend. Am I all caught up?
Mm-hmm.
Really? At 6:36, I'm all caught up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing all right. I haven't missed anybody.
No.
Nobody's been skipped over.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's great. I'm going to go back and talk a little bit about the meeting that we had. I had one meeting this week with young adult police commissioners. Were there nine of us together, 9 students or recent students that graduated. And then I had precinct captains who had the majority of patrol, and internal affairs was there as well, and the traffic division. And we just had good conversation. We talked about issues of what is defunding the police? What does police transparency mean to you? Should our police held to a higher standard? What is the number one thing that they see that police should be doing? What they expect of police officers? And as the conversation, should we have officers in schools, right? School resource officers. And as we got into the conversation, it got to the point where the kids, the students were interacting more and asking questions to the officers and vice versa. And then Destiny Wilson, a former young adult police commissioner who now is going to start the academy in September, she did some interviews afterwards where she interviewed officers and students and asked, how they felt about the meeting and got some feedback. So I didn't see that part. I look forward to see how that came out. But we do have a promotional process coming up. I've got to promote a captain and a lieutenant and a sergeant. So we do have people in the community assisting me with that. I've got the principal from Warwick High School that's going to help me with the captain process. And then I have Uganda, an activist in our community who also does a lot of work with homeless, and Elijah, a 19-year-old that's going to help me with the lieutenant process. So I think it's important that the citizens of this community have a role and help me select the next leadership of this department. Citizens ask different questions than officers do, and I respect these individuals a lot, and I'm very, very thankful for their help. So I really look forward to that. The captain's interviews are the first week in September, and the lieutenant and sergeant interview is the second week of September, and I will probably do promotions the end of September. What time on 52nd Street?
She's on 52nd Street. You'll be there at 3:30.
At 3:30. Yep. Every walk, I do my best to be there at 3:30. I heard the traffic might be bad around there with some of the shipyards, so I may get there a little early, right? Yeah. A little early. Ms. Nichols, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thomas, thanks for all you guys. Wow. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Juanita, can you come to the Trailer Park Circle Mobile? I would love to do that. Juanita, I would love. I would love to do that. Jamie's taking that down. That would be that may be the next one or the next two. Even if I do one on Saturday, I would love to come walk that area. That's a great idea. Hamilton Citizens Academy, FBI Citizens Academy, and, oh my gosh, and the fire department, and sitting on the Use of Force Review Board. I can say they're all impressive and very good informed programs. I highly recommend that. Wow, Randy, I will tell you that's huge. It was funny. There was some debate when we had the meeting with the town hall with the governor. I think that some departments heard about how we don't have a citizen oversight. That is a concern of mine of citizens that don't have. I spent 7 months training an officer just in the recruit class, and then to be on the field and the field training for 3 months. That's 9 months. It would concern me to have citizens oversight and not have some of that background or training. So I do ask our citizens to go through the Citizen Academy so they understand what the law is, what they understand our training, how the academy and our instructors train our officers, what our policies and procedures are. But what we do on our Use of Force Review Board is we have 4 officers and 4 citizens that sit together. And I will tell you, I think it is phenomenal, the conversation. I really appreciate it. I think it's very, very helpful. And when we talked about it at the governor's town hall, I highlighted that we do, and we got a lot of reviews, a lot of calls back from that. JT, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. When can you find where can I find the information for all the programs, committees that you're talking about, especially the young adult police commissioners? D'Amica, I will tell you, we do an annual report. It is in there, but I can get you in touch with Lieutenant Morgan if that's a program that you're interested in. And she has, she just does phenomenal. Her and Monica, Destiny Wilson does a lot too. She's a former commissioner who now works for us and getting ready to start the academy. That is a great program. And I tell you, I look forward to those 3 hours with working with the youth of our city. And it's not honor roll kids. It is students that may or may not even like the police, that they spend time with us. And I'm just looking for people with a good heart that care about other people, want to get involved. And it's great to see how the kids change over the year and how they come back and do community walks, how they sit on promotional panels with me, how we have group discussions. Last year, they facilitated youth forums in each high school where they kind of moderated and had events going on and question and answer back and forth. And I'll tell you, we had a gala at the end of the year where we gave out awards. And we really tried. We had it planned this year, and then our COVID numbers rose, and we had to back out of it. But I was really looking forward to it. I know it was hard on some of the students with not having a prom and high school graduation, a little different. So I really wanted to do something special. We just couldn't make it done. So, but it is a great program. Lieutenant Morgan oversees that, and if you give me a number, I can call you or have her call you and just share a little bit about that. All the other programs, we do put them on our website. They're also in our annual report. But I think you'd be very impressed with how progressive this department is. 21st century policing, it talks about the cornerstone of what we do in law enforcement as it has to be grounded in community. Interacting with our community and our citizens, doing things together, those things are important. I put a strong emphasis on that, especially youth. Any event that you see this department do, a promotion ceremony, a graduation, an award ceremony, our 911 ceremony, National Night Out, whatever it is, there's always a youth involved, whether they are reading a poem, giving a speech, or the guest speaker, or they're singing the national anthem, playing an instrument. I do that because I want youth of this city to know that I love them. They matter to me. I care about them. They're valued. But I also want the men and women of this department to know how important youth are. And I want them, I believe it starts with me in leadership, to talk about community policing and focus on youth. And I think that others will follow that. But it has to start at the top of the organization. And I'd love to share those programs with you. That'd be fantastic. Traffic is bad between 2:30 and 4. All right, well, I will get there early. I've heard some stories, so I will get there. I promise you I'll be there. If I have to get out and walk, I will be there. I do all 4 too. You're thinking about joining. Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, D'Amica, we'll definitely get in touch with you. Thank you. Ms. Brown, thank you again. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm caught up again, right? I'm doing good. You know, I don't mean to joke about it, but usually I get talking and I'll skip 2 or 3 and I got to go back and I ask Jamie to roll back through and to catch up. But it's really, really important. And I really want to make sure I don't skip anybody and get the right information across. Chief Randall was an event this week. Well, gosh, today's Tuesday, so it was yesterday. Yeah, quick like that. But the detectives and officers have been doing a phenomenal job last year and this year about removing illegal firearms. And when I say illegal firearms, firearms that have the serial number that have been filed off, stolen firearms, convicted felons that are in possession of firearms, firearms that are seized with illegal narcotics and search warrants. Last year we recovered 800 or removed 800 firearms off the streets of our city. That was a record for us. This year we've already recovered 638. If we stay on that track, we will break the record that we had last year. I think because of those things, the last couple of years, the ATF has decided to put an office here on the peninsula. Before their ATF, the federal agents worked with us out across the water in Norfolk, but they've now decided to put an office here in Newport News. They will work hand in hand with our detectives to help us put good cases together, to teach us more and work closely together with the federal system. Howard Slotnick and the federal attorneys and Howard Glenn, the Commonwealth attorneys, were both at the press conference. I was at a meeting and was unable to make it, but Chief Randall represented me and the department. Did a phenomenal job, and I'm really, really excited. Zach Twilliger was there and just made some comments, but it is direct credit. It's direct credit to the men and women in this organization as well as the Hampton Police Department, the firearms that we're recovering, and now we're going to have federal agents working with us to kind of teach us and help us do some things better, and I really look forward to that partnership. I will check that out again. Oh, great. Jay, are you doing great? And hey, you're doing great, and thank you for having me as a member of your young. Well, Jay, let me tell you, my friend, I could not be more proud of you. The work that you did. Thank you for all that you do in helping this department and discussions that we've had, personal and professional. And I really appreciate you playing a role. You do a great job, and I appreciate the interest that you have in the department, this city, and community. And anything I can do for you, please let me know. But again, thank you. Keisha, can someone please, am I reading that right? Tell me how to contact the chief directly. So listen, Keisha, if you give me your number, I will call you myself, or you can call the main number and it'll go to my secretary and she can get it to me. Either way, but if you send us your number, or if you just call the main number and tell me you want to talk to the chief and give your number, I will call you back. Sometimes I get tied up and things happen that I have to address, but I promise I'll call you. I promise. Keith. So yeah, Keith, I did 25 years in Richmond. I'm very familiar with that project. Exile, we started it there when I was there. I saw that. It did have some huge effect on violence. I think there's ways we try to tweak it and work with it. And working with our federal partners, not only our U.S. attorneys and our federal DEA, the ATF, we're able to do some really good things, and I think that having that office over here is going to help us in response to some of the violent crimes that we see as well. And I understand. No, wait. Oh, this is replying to Randy. So is that to me or?
No, that's
okay,
Randy.
Got it. Price. Hello from the other side of Hampton Road. Price, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Thank you for joining in tonight. We need let me see what you got. Please let me know ahead of time, and you can come shuffle mobile home park.
It's supposed to be circle.
Oh, okay. I certainly will. Give me a couple days to get it planned out. If you send us a number so I can reach out to you, or have Jamie or somebody reach out to you, or an email address, whatever it might be, I definitely will let you know. And I'd really look forward to that. I like that. That's not an area that I had thought about. I try to hit some of the areas where we were getting a lot of calls for service and having some issues, but that is a location I would love to walk. And I would really enjoy that. So yeah, let's do it. And if you'd come out and walk with me, that'd be fantastic. I would look forward to that. We've talked a little bit. Like I said, we have the academy starting in January. Have one starting in academy in September, another in January. I have one that will graduate here in about 2.5 months. We've got a class in the field now that's training. So like I said, we're continuing hiring our dispatchers. My goal was to fully staff our 911 center before the end of the year. We're only about 8 off, and I got another class coming. So they're going to do it. Those guys are going to do amazing. We push really, really hard. Their training program there, the way they're recruiting now, constantly hiring Citrix, so they're doing it off of the internet and testing. It's really changed the philosophy of what they're getting done, and they're doing some great work. So I am really, really impressed and happy with our dispatchers. They do great work, and I believe that our dispatchers should be considered as first responders. They take the calls and deal with citizens in crisis and situations that are tense and panic, and they just do a phenomenal job. And the stress that they have, I think, is equals to the stress that officers and others face when we respond. And oftentimes they don't get to see the closure, hear the closure, and I cannot be more impressed with our dispatchers. I have to just really want to say thank you to the men and women in this organization, sworn and civilian both. Those that work in records, officers on all 3 shifts, our detectives, the investigators that we have, our community youth and outreach officers, our school resource officers, our forensic technicians, the dispatchers. It is a team effort. And when you put all those things together, I think it makes a great department. Our narcotics detectives, our federal task force partners, Commonwealth Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Office, Howard Gwynn and Gay Morgan both, tremendous resources from me. We have a great police foundation that helps us with events and raise money to do things, a lot of things with the young adult police commissioners that we haven't been able to do in the past. Bayport Credit Union is a big supporter. They really help fund a lot. They're in the process pretty much of taking over our young adult police commissioners and letting that be a really a strong foothold for them and stuff that they do, opportunities and training and outings, open mic sessions, and they are just a great partner. And Susan Porter and her team, I can't not tell you how much we appreciate them and the stuff that they do. We have a wonderful, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Juanita, we got the number. Thank you. I saw I'm writing it down. Good. You might not want this on Facebook. Oh, that's all right. That's okay. You can measure. All right.
Oh, she's talking about her
The
phone
number, yeah.
number.
So let's see. We're at 6. We got about 8 to 10 more minutes. Certainly don't want to hold people up. I know a lot of people have a lot of things going on and critical time. And I would just encourage all of you to please be careful and look out for each other. Be safe. Make sure that we're washing hands and social distancing and wearing a mask and looking out for each other. I know, I understand the schools are going to be, the first 9 or 10 weeks will be virtual. So I know that's going to be some challenges for individuals with young children, whether you're working or not. Sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours is going to be challenging. Dr. Parker, I think laid out a pretty good plan of their structure and how they're going to work with the schools and teachers, and he just does a great job, and I think everybody's erring on the side of caution. I think for all of us, officers and just all, right, our community, to just maybe take a breath and just take a step back and make sure that we respect one another, we look out for each other. We're all going through this together, and I want officers to have empathy and understanding, the same situations we have as officers or our families that we're taking care of, and this uncertainty times and the stuff that we see going on around the country, and this pandemic that we're going through. Citizens are going through the same thing. And they may not have as many outlets, those that are struggling. I just want us to make sure that we're treating citizens with the utmost respect. And I would ask the citizens to also think of officers, keep them in prayer for their safety, and understand that issues that they have are the same as everyday citizens. This uniform and badge, we are held to higher standards, but I promise you we face the same decisions and pressures in life as anyone else. I want to thank the men and women who make a career choice to come work in the city of Newport News. The 7 cities or anywhere is always looking for good talent, right? We want good people. I want to run this department like a family now. We may not always agree, but I do want people to know that they come to work here, that they matter to me, that they're valued. They'll be treated that way. They can go work anywhere they want, but to choose this city means something. And when I sit down and talk to new recruits, like I said, I've got 6 to talk to this week. I will ask them, why do you want to get into law enforcement? And they'll tell me the different reasons or feelings and thoughts. But then I ask them, why do you want to be a police officer? Why do you want to do police work in Newport News? I want to know what their tie is to this city. I'm looking for men and women to come into this agency that care about other people. They want to serve, be a servant, right? Want to make things better, improve things. Not just go to a call, write a report, and leave. I'm looking for people to, they tease me around here all the time, it's not 1985. I'm looking for people to come into this organization, think outside the box, be creative, solve problems. I'm not going to micromanage you. I'm going to give you the best training I can, and then I want you to interact with our citizens, interact with our youth. That's our future. Solve problems, make things better, get the right resources. That's what I'm looking for. Anna says, always keep all the police department in prayers. Thank everyone. Oh, Annie, thank you so much. you know, this career is extremely rewarding, but it is very demanding. It costs a lot. Time away from family and time away from friends, missing events, birthdays and ball games and ballets and recitals and plays, anniversaries. It is a demanding job, but it is extremely rewarding. And the investment that we make in other people is the greatest investment of all. The best asset I have in this department are the sworn in civilian, the men and women who put on this uniform and come to work every day. Those who work around the clock. Rosa, who makes sure that this building is clean and spotless for us. The media relations who market the good work that officers do. We don't always do the best job of that. I get emails and phone calls of officers who buying kids birthday gifts and bicycles and putting groceries in someone's refrigerator that isn't as fortunate as others. Reports of how someone went to a house and did a repair that helped their child or daughter, and all it doesn't get reported. So I want to tell the officers that work here, the individuals that work here, I appreciate you. You all matter. You do a great job and a great service. And the citizens of this city are behind you. The mayor, the city council, our city manager, Cindy Roth, Mayor Price, assistant city manager, Alan Archer, and Bo Clayton. I talk to them regularly. Our city council and our mayor ask hard questions, but it's because they're demanding. That's my oversight board, without a doubt. They are demanding. They want the best for the citizens of this city, and I encourage that. I need to know their wants and desires. I want to know their concerns, just like yours. Now, we don't always get it right, and we're going to make mistakes. We certainly have, and we will. The best I can promise you is that we will try to address that and move forward. I care about the citizens of this city. I care about our neighborhoods, our communities. I'm thankful for our faith leaders that are proactive in addressing issues in society and partnering with the police and helping us. At the end of the day, the goal is to make the Newport News city the best place to live and raise a family. Right? That matters. Captain Tegens tells me often, Chief, what we do matters. I would add that what we do does make a difference. I see it every day, and I cannot be more proud and humbled to work with this organization of great men and women. Jan, thank you so much for that. That means a lot. I appreciate that. The messages that individuals send in, it's important for officers to see that. And I'll tell you, they can hear it from me and their sergeants, their supervisors. But when officers see the posts that you all make, when you tell them they appreciate you, that goes a long way. That means a lot to them. So I appreciate each and every individual that takes the time to send in a message. When I see something like, my family appreciates you. Thank you for protecting our community. We're 100% behind you. And that's just the last three. That matters to people. K-9 Division, all the work that they do, it's just about everywhere I go, I hear people ask, where's Lacey at? When do I get to see Lacey? And that's probably the most popular officer we have, and it's a bloodhound. But that's okay. They do phenomenal work. Officer O'Berry, who worked so many years in the academy and has trained so many officers, he is finally going to step out of the academy, and he is our newest K-9 officer. I believe he has picked up his new dog already, and he's in the process of training, so I'm very, very happy for him.
Volt.
Is it Volt?
K-9 Volt.
K-9 Volt will be on the road soon with Officer O'Berry, but he is a phenomenal asset to this department. Sad to see him leave the academy, all the recruits that he has taught and instructed, but he will do a great job in K-9. He certainly deserves it, and I'm proud of you, and I want to thank you for the work that you do. So it's, what do we got, 7 o'clock. I know I got started a little late. Let's give it a couple more minutes, see if there's any other questions that come in, but I think I've hit everything, Jamie. I don't think I missed anybody. Again, if I did, I apologize. Hey guys, they like more than donuts. We'll start the custom cookies.
Yes, she sent custom cookies.
Oh, here we go.
Miss Ireland did.
Wow, thank you very much. It's a big cliche about police officers and donuts, and let me just clear this up for everyone who's watching. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It doesn't help us with our waistline, but I'm going to let you know. It's absolutely true. Nancy, my cousin was, wow. Nancy, let me tell you, Brian Cummings was a dear friend of mine, as Gene Boucher. I remember my time with them, and Brian was outstanding. And I miss him. Wow. Yeah, we worked a lot together, and even after work, we would sit and I would give him a hard time and tease him. He and Gene both, phenomenal people. Wow, you threw me with the curveball with that one, Nancy. Oh, you guys think it's funny about the donut thing? Okay, I got you. It's okay. Well, look, I don't want to hold anybody up. I do enjoy these conversations. I'm getting better and better at it. It's very hard to talk into a small box, and now they've advanced this. They got this blue eye that I talk into, but I'm getting better. They got the screen bigger as my eyesight gets worse, I guess. But look, I really thank you guys very much for taking the time out. Please be safe. Look out for one another and your families, and all the challenges that we're going through right now in these unprecedented times. Right, we will get through together. I promise you. Sometimes we all just have to take a step back, hold each other accountable, and do the best we can in our communities. Take two-legged officers. There you go. Prince, do more. I'm not sure I got.
Do more Facebook Lives.
Oh, do more lives. All right. I will tell you. I should have said it earlier. Next month. In September, two people are going to sit with me for about 10 minutes. I want to introduce you to Nisha and Cheryl. They're going to talk to you a little bit about what they do with domestic violence in our city in this program. And then in October, they will have their own session to talk about domestic violence and what they're doing here. We actually went out and hired two professionals to come in and work for the department to help us treat domestic violence victims and respond better. So you're going to be blown away when you meet them. These two women are completely phenomenal. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chief. And Jamie. I'll make sure Jamie sees that. She probably responds quicker than I can. But I'll go ahead and sign off here. You guys please be safe. Again, thank you for all that you do. Again, take care of each other, and God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you next month.